Coming up on AgweekTV, President Trump makes his first speech on farm policy. We'll have an exclusive interview with him about it. A young rancher makes his way back home to North Dakota after seeing the world.
It's the official kickoff of the farm show season. We'll find out what farmers are talking about here at the Dakota Farm Show.
Hello, welcome to AgweekTV. I'm Rose Dunn in for Shauna Olson. President Trump is the first president to address the American Farm Bureau's annual convention in 25 years. It was held this week in Nashville. Sarah Wyant from Agri-Pulse, one of the most respected names in ag journalism, had the rare opportunity to interview the president one-on-one. She started by asking him if he plans to withdraw from NAFTA.
Well, I'm negotiating tough for the farmers. I mean, if you think I'm doing it not for myself, I'm doing it because the farmers have not been treated well. Look at your prices over the last 4 years. It's, you know, they go down. Mexico's made $71 billion a year in trade deficits with us. Canada's $17 billion, that's a lot. So we're negotiating with Mexico and Canada right now on NAFTA. And hopefully we can negotiate something that's going to be great for the farmer. And we have other things to do. We're working very hard on broadband. But we are negotiating with NAFTA, trying to make a much better deal for the farmer.
Well, we know you are still in the middle of that negotiation, and your team is doing a fantastic job. But are we prepared with a plan B in case that part of the market, the 19, 20, almost 30% for some commodities that's exported, how would we compensate farmers in the loss?
Well, remember that it can't get too much worse than when I took over, because when I took over, you know, you look at the steep decline in prices, and that shouldn't be happening to our farmers, because these are great people. These are great people. And we're trying to make it so the farmer can do better, and at the same time make it somewhat fair for our country, because our country is losing so much. As I say, 71 billion with Mexico, we have a deficit, which is hard to believe. People don't even understand that kind of a number.
Right.
But no, I think it's going to come out very well for the farmers. That's what I'm doing.
Great. One more trade question, and that is that there was an expectation that perhaps there would be some bilateral trade deals, especially with Japan, which is such a huge market for our farmers and ranchers. What kind of summary would you give our audience here about what's happening in terms of bilaterals, especially with Japan?
Well, Sarah, we're actually doing that. We've already started with Japan. With China, we've opened it up to beef. You probably know all about that. And we're going to have that with Japan, and we're going to have that with many other places. And you're starting to see the results, but one of the early results is really China with the beef.
Okay. A couple of Farm Bill questions for you. Senator Roberts from Kansas has already shared his deep love of crop insurance and the importance of the safety net for farmers. Your first budget proposed about $30 billion in cuts for crop insurance. Will we be expecting more of the same in your next budget, or how should farmers view you?
Yeah, we're going to. I'm in favor of the crop insurance, which is the big question. And Senator Roberts is terrific. Pat has been pushing very hard for it, and I agree with it. So we're going for crop insurance.
On immigration, as you know, farmers are having a tough time both in the fields and in the barns getting a legal workforce in order to harvest their crops and the livestock. So what actions do you plan to take that can actually help ease that pain and make sure that there's a reliable workforce for
So we're going to be very, very tough at the border, as you know. We have to be. But when you have people that come in that have been working in Tennessee, working for farms, whether it's Tennessee or anyplace else, but working on the farms for many, many years, and all of a sudden the border's closed, that's not going to happen. We're letting those people come through. They're going to come through from a standpoint of being documented properly documented. But we are very cognizant of the fact that we're not going to be taking your workers away.
Great. Well, thank you so much for the opportunity.
Thank you very much.
Is there any one thing that you think would be most important for farmers to take home from your speech?
I think just keep your optimism up. We're really working hard for the farmer. If you, again, look at the rules and regulations, you look at what we've done, it's people are so happy, and farmers have contacted us. I have many farmers coming to the White House. They can't believe, whether it's the Water Act, whether it's so many other things, whether it's the estate tax. We have you very much in mind. We're going to make it better. We'd like to see those prices go up so that you can do a little bit better, because they've really been moving down rapidly over the last 4 years.
The president says he'll be back for next year's convention as they reach a milestone of 100 years. The 35th annual Dakota Farm Show officially kicked off the 2018 Farm Show season in the region. Nearly 300 exhibitors were showing off new technology, services, or management strategies designed to help farmers with their tight margins. But as Michelle Rook reports, farmers were also looking at ways to leave the land better for the next generation.
Here at this year's Dakota Farm Show in Vermilion, farmers are once again talking about improving their return on investment with low commodity prices, but the focus is also on how they can be better environmental stewards. Exhibitors were busy working with farmers on 2018 management strategies to improve margins.
There's a lot of real technological discussions going on here, and it's all focused on, how do we reduce costs or be more efficient or drive yields.
And agronomic discussions included plans for more beans, since they're more profitable than corn.
We're obviously going to see some beans on beans until this corn market rallies a little bit. But there again, I'm going to caution anybody on doing that until it's time to plant.
Plus, seminar topics like water quality help farmers be better stewards of the land.
There's been a big push for things like cover crops, which are able to capture some of those nutrients. There's been a lot of no-till implemented.
Also on display was new technology like remote irrigation monitoring to decrease water use, which is more environmental.
Instead of like the standard practice, I'm going to put in, say, an inch across every acre of that field. You can vary that throughout the field based on your soil types and terrain.
In Vermilion, I'm Michelle Rook reporting for Ag Week.
Up next on Ag Week TV, we'll meet a young rancher who's seen the world and is settling in back home.
Superior Grain Equipment offers storage and drying solutions designed for your grain handling needs. Mixed flow grain dryers from Superior offer even heating to reduce heat stress cracking, so you get higher quality grain, higher test weights, and better prices. Plus, they use half the energy of conventional screen dryers. Experience cost savings and superior grain conditioning. Make the superior choice today with Superior Grain Equipment.
If you get right down to it, what's a farmer's job? Well, farmer's job is to feed people. Farmers collectively, our job is to feed the world. At Peterson Farm Seed, we get to have a little bit bigger picture right in our region. We get to help those farmers that we work with increase their productivity, increase the yields that they get on their farms, and as a result, more people can eat.
I'm 120, I'm 30, 130, 55, once around the block, 212, 5 right here, now half them times up. So
if you're thinking about selling a piece of land, or you're looking to sell some farm equipment, or if you're thinking about a retirement or involved in an estate, give us a call. We'll sit down and tell you all about the Steffes way. We think it's a good way. That's how we approach it. If any of those are in your plans, give us a call or go to steffesgroup.com. Learn all about us. Hope to hear from you.
Make every minute of the growing season count. Schedule your equipment for a genuine Case IH parts and service uptime inspection at Titan Machinery. Our professional service technicians have the training and experience to pinpoint and repair problems before they have a chance to shut you down during the season. Avoid the high cost of in-season downtime. Give yourself the peace of mind knowing your equipment is ready to work. Schedule your equipment today by going to uptime18.com or calling your local Titan Machinery dealer. That's Titan Machinery, providing you with genuine Case IH parts and service.
Intelligent farming means more crop from every acre. That starts with smart machines and precision application. Introducing the new Rogator C-Series from Challenger, featuring a newer, smarter, more precise way to apply fertilizers and nutrients, more accurately and more efficiently than ever before, resulting in less overlap and less crop damage, all to make you more productive and more profitable. To find out more, contact Butler Machinery today.
It's common for young people to leave the farm seeking greener pastures, but sometimes they find their way back. Jonathan Knutson met a young man who's returned to his family's ranch after a few years of seeing the world.
You're about to meet David Lundy, a thoughtful, intelligent young man who saw a little of the world and then returned home.
As I looked about what I value in my life, I thought about my family and the farm and the chance to come back and work alongside my dad.
David went to college in Colorado, then studied and worked in France and Africa. But in the fall of 2016, he felt the pull of home. This farm has been in the Lundy family for 5 generations. It's an 80-head cow-calf operation. Besides being closer to family, David values rural life.
Take turns. Be polite. As I looked at the farm and ranch, it offered a chance to work outside, to see working kind of the rhythms and seasons of life and work. The farm has always been a very special place in my family's history.
Nathan, David's dad, said he was humbled and grateful when his son decided to come home. It was something he always hoped for, but didn't want to push for.
It was gratifying to realize that the relationship we had developed through ranching together at a young age, that it was a positive experience for him, and that we work well together. And so it was very gratifying, and realize that the benefit that I have had from working off the land is something that has value to him as well.
And I'm very aware of my place as the 5th generation of Lundy that has been here, and so the chance to follow in my previous generation's footsteps was very meaningful. And so when I thought about what do I want to devote my life to and where to put my energy, the farm was the place to be.
David is carefully and patiently sorting through his options, but he's confident that both cattle and Cooperstown are part of his future. For Ag Week, I'm Jonathan Knutson.
To generate extra income, David also works part-time as a substitute teacher, is the Griggs County Tax Equalization Director, and writes articles for the Steele County Press. For much more on this story, check out John's article in the next Ag Week magazine. Countless loads of livestock travel through the region, and sometimes trucks hauling them are involved in crashes. That creates some unique problems for first responders. They may need special equipment or specialized help, like veterinarians. It gets even more complicated if it's cold or dark. Lisa Peterson, an NDSU Extension beef specialist, says training for this is beneficial to both people and animals.
We have to realize that these are not low-stress events. You've taken animals probably going 60 or 70 miles an hour, brought them to a quick stop, and turned their lives upside down in most cases. And so we work with responders to understand cattle handling and how they see and how they behave in these instances, so that we can better handle animals, but especially keep our first responders safe.
That there's a pretty fair chance it's going to happen in your area, and I don't think that chance is going to get less. It's probably going to get more so as time goes on, and when it comes and you aren't prepared for it, you're in for quite a shock.
This training was one of several being held in 14 states. The Bovine Response Plan is funded by Beef Checkoff Funds, the USDA, and several universities. We may not like it much, but cold January weather is actually healthier for cattle than warmer weather. Bill Lyons and his brother Mike are partners in a grain and feedlot cattle farm. The Lyons feedlot holds up to 700 head, but they currently have about 500. They say when the weather dips to about 10 below, it slows up the bugs that can hit cattle, especially pneumonia. Lyons says the first part of the winter wasn't ideal.
A little too warm. Too warm and damp and tough on calves, little pneumonia. Oh, really? This is the weather we were waiting for. Cold is good.
In addition to cattle, the Lyons raise soybeans, wheat, and corn. Although the 2017 growing season was dry, they say they had exceptional yields. Well, at least the cattle are enjoying the cold weather. Your agri-weather forecast is next. And later, we'll show you how the Budweiser plant in Moorhead turns barley into malt for beer.
For over 40 years, Northside Implement has been your Gell & Vermeer dealer in Webster, South Dakota and Lidgerwood, North Dakota, with new equipment including feeding, grain handling, haying, and skid steer, as well as a nice selection of used equipment including sprayers, spreaders, seeding, as well as tractors and loaders. Northside Implement stands behind the equipment they sell with quality service guaranteed. See us for all your repairs and parts, from tillage to skid steer loaders to combines and everything in between. Contact Dave, Liddell, Mike, or Chris today at Northside Implement, or visit our website for our complete equipment listings.
Luckin Trucks and Parts sells quality used parts for all makes and models. With over 50 acres of trucks and parts and new inventory arriving daily. Family owned and operated since 1966, Luckin's specializes in the sale of quality used medium to heavy duty truck parts, as well as pre-owned trucks, trailers, and construction equipment. If it's on a truck, we got it. Call us today and let us get you your part.
I'm 120, I'm 30, I'm 30, 55. Went once around the block, 212 pipe right here, now having time's up. So
If you're thinking about selling a piece of land or you're looking to sell some farm equipment, or if you're thinking about a retirement or involved in an estate, give us a call. We'll sit down and tell you all about the Steffes way. We think it's a good way. That's how we approach it. If any of those are in your plans, give us a call or go to steffesgroup.com. Learn all about us. Hope to hear from you.
If you get right down to it, what's a farmer's job? Well, farmer's job is to feed people. Farmers collectively, our job is to feed the world. At Peterson Farm Seed, we get to have a little bit bigger picture right in our region. We get to help those farmers that we work with increase their productivity, increase the yields that they get on their farms, and as a result, more people can eat.
We're excited to bring you the new Ag Week app with useful features and the latest news and information. Get your Ag Week news, weather, and the latest episodes of AgweekTV. Plus, see real-time information on the futures market and view local cash bids for your crops. Stay updated and take Ag Week with you. Download the new Ag Week app today.
Weather portion of Ag Week now. The thawing conditions from early in the week, obviously long gone from the northern plains. Question is, will they come back, or are we stuck with the cold again for the rest of the month? We'll talk about that. We finally have more widespread snow cover this winter. It's been a slow time coming, but a lot of the Great Plains, upper Midwest, has now substantial snow on the ground, and Arctic air will be somewhat in retreat. We'll let you know if it's actually going to move out completely. Jet stream still coming out of the north for the moment. Obviously this weekend we are frigid in much of the northern plains and the Great Lakes states, just like it was last week. But we still have this large ridge of high pressure in the jet stream, which will allow for some changes this week. In fact, I expect some Great Plains moderation by the middle of the week as the cold weather shifts on to the east. And then we're going to get a much weaker kind of a split flow pattern later on in the week, which will likely keep the really cold air bottled up. There may be a brief intrusion of colder weather again this weekend, but the really cold stuff will stay northerly, and I don't think it'll stick around very long. By early next week, I do expect the ridging to begin building back. We'll get some cold weather in the northern Rockies. The Great Plains won't be that bad. Kind of in and out, probably a lot of frontal activity. Canada is going to be really cold, but a lot of the United States will not be as cold as it was over Christmas and the New Year. Now, precipitation, little light snow moving out of the Great Plains this weekend. That will likely end up being lake effect into the Great Lakes area by the end of the weekend, and that'll eventually move on out to sea. Might kick up an East Coast storm. We'll have to see. That's not certain. Middle of the week, there'll be some precip coming into the northern Rockies. A lot of that's going to be snow, especially in the higher elevations. And later in the week, a rain system will stall down in Texas, move north, may get a quick shot of light snow through the Great Plains. And by the weekend, looks like a good chance for some rain mixed with snow, some of that ice over the northeastern states. But with a flatter resolution of the jet stream, by a week from now, we're actually going to be looking, I think, at somewhat milder, generally drier weather. There will likely be another round of snow in the Rockies and some rain coming into the Pacific Northwest, but overall, looking for less precipitation in the Great Plains. Meanwhile, down south, starting to look at some pretty significant showers and thunderstorms over the southern part of Brazil and down into the northern reaches of Argentina. But once you get down into central and southern Argentina, it's a very dry weather pattern. And you probably heard about the record heat in southeast Australia last week. It's still very hot and dry there. Tropical cyclone Joyce will be bringing some much needed rain to parts of Western Australia. Thunderstorms in the north, but most of Australia will remain very much hot and dry. For our region, still pretty cold with snow on the ground, but there is signs that the severe Arctic weather may be moving in retreat.
Intelligent farming means more crop from every acre. That starts with smart machines and precision application. Introducing the new Rogator C-Series from Challenger, featuring a newer, smarter, more precise way to apply fertilizers and nutrients, more accurately and more efficiently than ever before, resulting in less overlap and less crop damage, all to make you more productive and more profitable. To find out more, contact Butler Machinery today.
Dream of building a new home, garage, shop, barn, or commercial space? What if you could create your ideal building for less than you ever imagined? Want to build a cabin in the woods, a workshop, storage space? Then call your Hanson personal building designer now, and we'll include professionally engineered, sealed plans to your new building absolutely free. Save up to thousands of dollars. Build your ideal dream for less than you ever imagined. Call now.
At Superior Grain Equipment, we're committed to quality and service, offering you the best in grain storage and dryers for any size operation. Our experts will work with you to determine the most efficient and economical storage solution for your needs. We help protect your bottom line and your future with the industry's best bins and warranties. Make the superior choice for protection today and tomorrow with Superior Grain Equipment.
Make every minute of the growing season count. Schedule your equipment for a genuine Case IH parts and service uptime inspection at Titan Machinery. Our professional service technicians have the training and experience to pinpoint and repair problems before they have a chance to shut you down during the season. Avoid the high cost of in-season downtime. Give yourself the peace of mind knowing your equipment is ready to work. Schedule your equipment today by going to uptime18.com or calling your local Titan Machinery dealer. That's Titan Machinery, providing you with genuine Case IH parts and service.
Every year, 40% of all food in the U.S. never gets eaten.
40%. That's almost half the food we produce.
Food waste is a serious problem. It impacts all of us.
And it's expensive. Your family is throwing $1,500 a year in the trash.
We're working hard to put food waste on the chopping block.
And you can do the same at home.
Learn how to cook it, store it, and share it.
Just don't waste it.
Go to SaveTheFood.com.
Do you ever wonder how barley gets turned into beer? Shauna Olson went inside the Anheuser-Busch Malting Plant in Moorhead to see how barley is transformed into malt, which makes beer.
This brand is the iconic one that has to be right and is the standard. It's so challenging to make sure that you have a great bud in Beijing, China, or Fargo, North Dakota, or somewhere around Champaign, Illinois.
It takes about 30 days for barley to be turned into Budweiser beer. The process starts here at the Anheuser-Busch Malting Plant in Moorhead. It sits on 8 acres and is almost 40 years old. The plant turns barley into malt and has a capacity of 8 million bushels. The first step is the steeping process.
This is our steep house. The main objective in the steeping process is we want to take that barley kernel and we want to get it hydrated. We want to get it up to 43% moisture.
This also cleans the kernels.
The most crucial thing we need to do in here is keep the barley alive.
It goes into the immersion phase, it's then drained, and the barley rests, then filled with water again. The steeping process takes about 25 to 35 hours depending on the variety. Next, it's on to germination. This process takes between 60 and 90 hours.
This is where we've taken that wet 45% moisture barley and we brought it in here and we put it in this bed. In this bed is where we get to play a farmer, play Mother Nature, and get the grain to grow.
The kernel grows and undergoes biochemical changes.
We're breaking down the cell wall, we're breaking down the protein matrix, making it soluble, and we're creating enzymes that are going to convert the starch to sugars in the brewing process.
Then it's onto the kiln, which is about 190 degrees, too hot to enter, but looks similar to this. It's where the growing process is halted. It takes about 6 to 8 days for barley to become malt.
The malt is then shipped to 12 breweries in the U.S. The Moorhead plant is unique because it can produce 2- and 6-row malting barley. Ahead on AgweekTV, a South Dakota company is improving cattle genetics around the world.
We're excited to bring you the new AgWeek app with useful features and the latest news and information. Get your AgWeek news, weather, and the latest episodes of AgweekTV. Plus, see real-time information on the futures market and view local cash bids for your crops. Stay updated and take AgWeek with you. Download the new AgWeek app today. Where do you go for the latest news in agriculture? AgWeek magazine. reaching over 30,000 farmers and ranchers in North Dakota, Minnesota, South Dakota, and Montana. AgWeek provides the most up-to-date information on the markets, the trends, and the people who make it all happen. We're your source for news, not fluff. Dependable, trusted, AgWeek. Subscribe today by calling 1-800-811-2580.
I'm Jenny Garth, and as a mother of 3, I know kids worry about a lot of things. Getting enough food to eat shouldn't be one of them. But here in America, that is a real worry for 1 in 5 children. Even though we are one of the most food-rich countries in the world, 15 million children don't know where their next meal is coming from. This is unacceptable, and something the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks is working to solve. Instead of accepting that our country lets billions of pounds of surplus food go to waste every year, Feeding America has made it their mission to help families in need by rescuing this food. Through food pantries and meal programs, the nationwide network of food banks provides more than 3 billion meals, serving virtually every community in the United States, including yours. Join me in supporting Feeding America and your local food bank by visiting feedingamerica.org. Together we can solve hunger. Together, we're feeding America.
For seed stock producers, quality semen is the foundation of any breeding program. And it's no secret beef producers in South Dakota have some of the best genetics in the country. So it only makes sense to have a way to collect and preserve the genetics through custom semen collection. As Michelle Rook tells us, that's the idea that spawned Custom Genetic Solutions of Mitchell.
Custom Genetic Solutions is open for business. The new semen processing site is one of the few certified semen service facilities in the region.
It's just a good location, and the closest CSS facility from here, you either got to go to Billings, Montana, or western Nebraska, or southern Nebraska, or Des Moines, Iowa.
They also help seed stock producers add value to their breeding programs.
Our customers are going to be marketing semen to their customers, both domestically, and we are CSS certified, and so we can produce and ship semen eligible for export.
And they're using state-of-the-art technology to test the quality of semen and improve fertility rates.
Looking at acrosome integrity, mitochondria, DNA.
Near Mitchell, I'm Michelle Rook reporting for AgWeek.
Custom Genetic Solutions hopes to collect and process 250,000 units of semen in the first year. They can house up to 90 bulls at the stud site and are currently accepting sires ahead of their peak season this spring. Thanks for watching this edition of AgWeek TV. Remember, for all your ag news, go to agweek.com and be sure to follow us on Facebook and Twitter as well. See you next week.